You know, I once quit drinking for 3.5 years, 11 years ago, while I was living right in the heart of Boston, single for a lot of the time. I've talked about a few of the reasons why. Hopefully follow me and check out even my very first video I talk about. A few of the things that helped, but definitely the key, looking back to how did I do this alone? Because for the most part, you cannot do this alone. But what I did from pretty much day one was doing hard things sober. First, I had to recover from an illness, but I quit sales. I went out and got my Salesforce.com administration certification. And then I went out and got a job in that field that was really over my head. You know, I had the old impostor syndrome kick in, but I was strong enough in the interview to get the job. And then I was strong enough to show up for it every day and say, I can do this and I'm going to figure this out. And of course, knowing I could Google how to do anything. But I worked for a control freak boss who absolutely would have had me waking up and drinking every morning had I been in the throes of addiction. But instead, I showed up every day and I did hard things sober, including that job, but also off hours. I joined a tennis club where I found a really hard opponent that we played frequently. Eventually got a girlfriend. We went to hot yoga 3-4 times a week, which is a really hard thing. And then when we broke up, I continued to go on dates, which are always super awkward and hard. But I did them. And you know what I realized? I tremendously built up my resilience bank. And resilience comes from doing hard things sober. You know, and we talk in sober communities about what is your why. And when I eventually drank again, and then when I started this process over almost 3 years ago, a call asked, what's your why? And why are you doing this? And I said, my why is because when I quit for those 3.5 years, I was winning. And winning life. And I want to win again. And I realized the reason I was, and the way to win life is to build up resilience. It is so, so key. Every day sober, you're building up your resilience bank. And that's why when you do slip, I personally am a big believer resetting the count. I'm a big believer in day counts. And that's because you do, every time you drink, you give that, you reinvigorate that voice. You know, every day we don't drink, it gets weaker, we get stronger. But when we do drink, it does get reinvigorated and it's given new hope because it believes that drinking is the answer to everything. And we have to prove it otherwise. We have to show it there's a new voice in town by doing hard things sober, which builds up resilience. And again, that's my topic today. And I'm just going to quickly read the definition of resilience, which is the ability to withstand adversity and bounce back from difficult life events. It doesn't mean you never experience stress, emotional upheaval, and or suffering, but resilience involves the ability to work through emotional pain and suffering. And here I am, just hit 17 months, continuous sobriety, thank you very much. And I truly believe I've tacked on that 3.5 years I once had because I'm combining all of those days of resilience, that resilience bank. Oh, and my point about resetting the day count was, yes, you have to reset your day count, but your resilience bank does not reset. Yes, it gets depleted every time you drink, especially when you slip and really heavily disappoint yourself. You take a heavy setback to your resilience bank, but you can rebuild that very quickly by doing hard things sober, i.e. doing the work. I would say the more work you can do, the more you can accelerate your recovery. Cold shower finishes and sharing on sobriety calls are a couple of the key ways you can do that. Several of us say that alcohol was our kryptonite and sobriety is our superpower. And it's true, we become supermen and women. And kryptonite had the effect on Superman that it does on our resiliency bank. So you've got to do hard things sober and stay sober, stay patient, and you'll be stronger for it. That'll do it. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks.